Hello everyone. So this is the iNeuron MERN Stack challenge. The project title is Book My Calendar. So it's a challenge, as we know. This challenge is organized by iNeuron. So I'll just explain what the Book My Calendar project is a bit, and then we'll start with the things, the execution of it. So basically, we can think Book My Calendar is a web application. So we know Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar. So what Book My Calendar is, what happens in this application is that we try to create event, and we share this event with other users. And once the event is shared with the users, those users can actually schedule a meeting with the event organizer and can invite other people as well for the meeting. So basically it kinds of like, let's say, to let people know when I am available for the meeting so that they can organize or schedule a meeting. Basically it's things like that. So we'll have the sign up sign in as usual. Then we'll have this there are some conditions which let's say for scheduling a meeting we need to meet some of the conditions. So we'll see each of the conditions. One of the condition is like the meeting that is defined by the event. Let's say the event defined organized by Harry, it should be of around, let's say, 15 or 20 minutes. Any meeting scheduled should be about 15 or 20 minutes. This can be defined by the organizer itself, event organizer, so that the meeting schedulers can schedule the meeting according to this requirement. Then the event has a start date and an end date. Let's say the event will start from 21st March 2022 to 21st May 2022. Now, third thing is Harry can decide how many days in a week a user customer can schedule a meeting for the event. So we can have, let's say, we have 7 days. So we can allow user to access an event. Let's say out of 7 days, we can say, okay, I'll be available only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So the event organizer will say, okay, you guys can schedule a meeting only on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Next, we have a start time and a end time. During the daytime, at what time the event can happen? Let's say over here, it is saying that the event can happen only from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we can say, okay, the event will happen from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll see each of the conditions, how it's matching. We are like meeting those requirements or not. Then we have okay, so the calendar days, how many future calendar days should be visible to the users. Let's say I say that only from today, only 5 days calendar should be visible, meaning the scheduler can schedule the meeting between these 5 days. He can't schedule a meeting from sixth day or seventh day from today. So it's kind of a let's say over here we can see the example. If today is, let's say, 5th April, and wants to schedule a meeting discussion with Harry, so she can only book calendar between 5th April to 10th April if Harry has defined only 5 days in the meeting. And the sixth requirement is that one meeting scheduler can schedule only one meeting per day. The second is that we need a certain time limit, that beforehand I should know that a meeting has been scheduled. So how long before can we schedule a meeting? Let's say over here from the example we can see that if the current timing is 1 p.m, then the user cannot schedule a meeting before 6 p.m if restriction is given as 5 hours. Now we'll see account owners can decide the gap between two consecutive meetings. So basically what should be the gap between two consecutive meetings? Let's say the meeting ends at 12:30, so the new meeting cannot be scheduled before 12:40. It should be scheduled only after 12:40. So all this are the I'll attach the document, you can just go through it. Then we'll have this project code. I'll GitHub push the project code to GitHub. Project demo video will be there, LinkedIn post will be there. I'll be using mainly APIs as it has been we can either have the complete solution as an API. So I'll be using API to show this. So we'll first go to our models. We'll start with the user model. First of all, the user has name, last name, email. User info is something that additional we want to add it, not required, though additional if we want it. Then we have encrypt password. Encrypt password, we don't normally save password as a like string or direct password, because anyone can, let's say, if anyone tries to take the hacks or like gets into the database, he might see the password. So we'll save the encrypted password, and salt is something that is required for this generating this encrypted password. Then we'll have my events, all the events that this user has created. Then we'll have events shared with me, meaning other users have created some events and they have shared the events with me. So its object id is event, its object id is event. And then we'll have meetings, all the meetings that this user has scheduled, and we'll have object id as meeting. So we'll now look into the event model. So over here we have name of the event, then we have maximum meeting length in minutes, as we saw. Then we have the event start date, we have the event end date, then we have event days, like on which day it can take place, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we have event start time, like in a day at what time it will start, and event end time at what time it will end. Then visible days in calendar from today, let's say if the visible days is mentioned as 5, then only from today till the 5th day we can schedule a meeting. Then scheduling meeting after hours, meaning how long before I should know that a meeting has been scheduled or one can schedule a meeting. Let's as I explained earlier. Then we have the time gap between two meetings. Event creator is the one who is creating this event. Event shared with users, uh, it's a user id, and it's like who all are the users who have the organizer of the event has shared this event. And then we have the meetings, like what are all are the meetings that are present inside this event. Now we'll next look up at meeting.js, which is the meeting model. So meeting has name, the meeting start time, the meeting end time, and then it has meeting organizer id, that is the user id, then all the participants, and then it's meeting platform, whether it's Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. Like we have created a enum for this, Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. So now we will start with the let's uh, let's start the application. We have the database created over here. I have already given some inputs for testing purpose, so we'll kind of add in this only. So I've already created one user, let's say Saurav Gupta. The email, we can see the encrypt password, the salt, we can see my events, the events shared with me, meetings, all those things. We'll start with this. We will be using Postman. So we have created APIs. I will mention the APIs in GitHub, whatever is required. We can see the post for sign up, sign in, create event, get user, get event, create meeting. As of now, we'll focus mainly on creating meetings. Deleting and updating is kind of a simple stuff. We'll take it in second half of the video. So we'll first start with the sign up, sign in. I think that's all from this part. We'll just start the project. So we can see app is running at port 8000 and database has been connected. So everything is running fine. We'll first start with the sign up. Let's say we have the sign up one. So in params, we don't have anything. Authorization, we don't have anything. Headers, we have set content type application as JSON. The API is localhost 8000 API / sign up, and we have the post. This for the like for storing the data into database. Now the main part comes body. What is required? We need to make sure that the required things are there. So we have the name, we have the last name, we have the email, and we have password. I'll just change this so that we create another user. So Hitesh Chaudhary, I followed his Munstack videos for learning first experience, so I'll add his name only as second user, Hitesh Chaudhary @gmail.com. Password, let's keep it as it is. So we'll send this data. So we can, as a response, we got this name, email, and ID. So we can just check it in database. We'll just go to users, refresh it. We see that Hitesh is over here, Chaudhary is over here at gmail.com, encrypt password, whatever, my events, all these are empty. So at least yeah, sign up is working fine. We can say we got the name. Now I'll just sign in with my this thing, email ID. So I have saurav.gupta.dx. The other user will just try to share the event with others. So I have saurav.gupta.dx @gmail.com, and I have my password. Email password is 12345. So I'll just it's a post request, and the API is API sign in. We'll send this. We have also added token so that we can know whether the session is in and we are authorized. Two things we need to take care. So we have a token that will take care whether we are signed in or not at each stage. So I will send this. So we, in response, we get our name, we get our email, and we get the token. So this ID is important one. This ID will be used in many places. While creating event also we'll use this. So and then this token is also required so that we'll know for authorization and whether we are signed in or not. We'll check it. So sign up, sign in is working fine. Now let's try for the get user. So what get user takes, it's a get process. So we'll have the, we don't have any params, we have header. Header, we can see a bearer. This is the authorization. Over here the token should be pasted. I'll just copy the token from sign in. Let's just copy this, Control C, and then we'll use the get user. In bearer we'll just convert this part, Control V. Now the content type is application JSON, authorization is this, and we need the ID of the user which we just signed in. So I have signed in from my ID. I'll just copy this and I'll go to get user, and we can see the API is API/user and the ID of the user. Now let's run and see whether it's working fine. Okay, we got all the details of this get user. We can see the ID, name, last name, email, encrypt password, my events, event shared with me, meetings, all those things. So we are seeing this, it's working fine. Now let's create an event. For creating event, again, it's a post. Content type is form data. We are not taking JSON, so we have not checked this content type, application JSON. Our content type will be form data. So for creating an event, this is the API we use, localhost 8000/API. API is just let's say pre-appended for every this thing, APIs, just for the making it like it's kind of a API. Then we have the event. Inside event we have create, because inside event we can have delete, update, all those functionalities. So we are having create, and then now we'll use the ID of the the signed in ID. So let's try sign in ID. We'll take this ID and we'll try to create an event. Now we need to copy the token as well. So we'll take the token from sign in. This is the token. We'll see what happens when token doesn't match or things like that in upcoming this thing. But as of now, let's go with this part. So we have said this, it's a post request. It takes create and user ID as parameter. Then we go to the body. Now this was one example. I'll just change it. Let's say I'll name it party with, okay, let's make it meeting, or I just can't get any name, discussion with Saurav. I think that's fine. Then the second parameter that we need is maximum meeting length in minutes, that is 30. Then we have event start date. Then we have event end date. So right now it's pointing 12. Event start date is over here. We can just think of it as the month we are taking, because right now I have not kind of fully implemented in terms of like display and all that will be taken part in GUI. The backend part, we can assume that we are taking the date over here. So we can see the time is, everything is 0. Similarly for event end date, we are again taking the date as time is all 0. So next is the event days. We have stored Sunday over here. Next is event start time per day. So what we discussed, what I discussed in the question, like in a day, at what time the event will start and at what time the event will end. So it's basically 2 p.m. the event will 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. the event will start and 6 p.m. the event will end. We'll change these values when we'll be testing the scheduling meeting part, so that we get we'll test out all the scenarios. Then we have visible days in calendar from today. So it's 5 days, it's in days. Visible meeting after hours, 5. So it's in hours. And type gap between meetings in minutes. So we have 10 minutes, so that at least will have a gap between 2 minutes. Then events shared with users. I'll just take the user ID of Hitesh. Let's copy this. And we'll go to create event and we'll store this. So all the values are set. It seems, let's try. We'll get errors if like if there are any errors, we'll get during this time only. We'll just see what those errors are. I'll try to like cut out those parts, but yeah, the errors will come. I'll click on send. Okay, we'll bring this up. So yeah, we can see discussion with Saurav, max meeting length 30, event days. We can see it's an array. I've just added one value as of now, so that we can be quick. Event day Sunday. Then events shared with users. It's also an array of users. I've just added one user, Hitesh, as of now. So this is the create event part. We can see that it's getting, let's check in our database. I'll just refresh it. Yeah, so we can see discussion with Saurav, all these things we have. And yeah, we can see these values are fine, whatever we have. So event is being created successfully. Now we'll go to Postman. We'll test get event. So in get event, I'll just have this discussion with Saurav as I have written it right now. We'll have discussion with Saurav. Okay, we'll get, okay, so the get event actually will provide the event name over here. We can see discussion with Saurav. I've already tested it out. Discussion with Saurav, I've already provided a name, and we'll provide the user ID for authentication and is signed in process of purpose. And we'll just click send over here. and we can see we got this whatever event we had right now, discussion with Saurav. We can see we have the event creation time 8th June, created at, updated at. So we have all these things over here. Now this seems fine. We'll start with the last one for this video, that is create meeting. Now here are certain criterias and certain conditions. So we'll start each one. Today is 18th. We need to, let's say, make sure that we are going with the database. I'll be using Powery with Saurav. So the first one, I have been testing out these things. So hopefully it will match whatever scenarios that I have in my mind. So first of all, we'll see what are there in this thing. We have event days, 3 event days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. For our this part, then we have event. Okay, we'll remove the meetings from here so that we'll have a array. We'll start from, basically we can say from the start. So we have the events, event days is there, event shared meeting. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So now the first we'll go through the, let's say we'll open the file and we'll just see each conditions, one or two condition. We'll see the conditions which are being matched. So I'll just open the file. So the first condition says that a meeting can be only of 15 or 20 minutes, whatever we have defined. So we'll see our database. Maximum meeting defined is 30. Let's try it out in my this thing. If I give, let's say right now it's from 5 to 5 p.m. So let's say I give 5 to 5:40, and what we get, we will probably get different exceptions. We'll see. So as we can see, your meeting time is exceeding the allocated time. The allowed meeting length is only 30 minutes. So this is the first condition that we get. The second condition that we get is meeting should be between event start date and event end date. Let's say the start date is 06/06. Let's try to change it to 06 and 04. Let's try this part and see. Let's give meeting end date also as 04, and let's see what do we get. So it means that 4th June. So okay, we didn't change this, so the first condition is still there. We'll just convert to 20 and then we'll pass, and we can see the meeting cannot be scheduled before the event start date or current date. You can schedule your meeting from 22/6/8, which is basically we can say from, actually I had given a post time, so that's what like it's saying that we can schedule a meeting from today, actually 22/6/8, and I had given a meeting of meeting start time of 4th June, which has already passed. So we can see that it's kind of validating that we cannot schedule a meeting which is in previous day. So let's try to change it to, let's try to change this thing. Event start date will give as 16th June. That's fine, I think. And let's test it out. So now we'll give this as 9th and 9th. So okay, let's give it as 10th and 10th. I'll give a send. Let's see. Yeah, we again got it. The meeting cannot be scheduled before the event start date or current date. You can schedule your meeting from 2022 means 16th June, which is invalidate with our event start date. So we can say that event start date is checking for current date as well, and the event start date which has been the meeting which has been scheduled. Now event days is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Let's try. Do we have anything else to test it in terms of event start date? It seems fine. Yeah, let's try it by testing out the end. Let's schedule a meeting after the event is ended. That is, let's say the event end date is given 12th July. Okay, so let's go to Postman. Let's give it as 14th July, and let's see what happens. 14th July. Yeah, let's see. So we get the error saying the meeting cannot be scheduled after the visible days in. Okay, we had the visible days also. The visible days was 5 days. We'll test this out also. You can schedule your meeting before 22/6/21, means 21st June. Now why is this happening? It's happening because our end date event start date was 16th June, and our visible days in calendar was 5, meaning till 21st we could have scheduled a meeting. So we cannot schedule our meeting before, let's say, visible days. After the visible days, we have 5 days in our visible calendar, so we can from 16th June we can schedule only till 21st June that we have received. So the meeting cannot be scheduled after the visible days in the calendar. You can schedule your meeting before 2022/6/21. So we tested out this condition, like the specific start date and end date, and as well as we tested out this part, future days. The future days has been tested out. Now we'll check for the start time and end time. Now since okay, so let's change it to 6, and let's give the starting time as 13 and end time as, since we need to make sure that meeting is of less than 20 minutes, sorry, 30 minutes. So now let's see what this does. Since our meeting start time is, if we'll check our database, meeting event start time is okay, 8 o'clock in the morning, okay, and 6 o'clock in the evening. So from 8 till 6 we have our event start time and event end time. Let's try it. Let's try to give 7. Let's not give 13. Let's give 0, 7, and we'll end it at 07. Let's see what does it give. So it says the meeting cannot be scheduled before the event start date or current date. You can schedule your meeting from 20. Okay, sorry. So we'll change this to, let's say, 17th. I will change this to 17th June. So because our start date, we can see it's from 16th of June. So we'll give 17th June, and our time is morning 7 to 7:20. Now let's send this. So okay, the meeting cannot be scheduled on Friday. You can schedule meetings on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, now what happened was that, as we have decided that our event days in 3 elements, we can see it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So what we got over here is you can schedule meetings on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but 17th June seems to come on Friday. So let's change it to 16th June. Hopefully it should work. And now let's see what is the message that we get. So yeah, now we can see the meeting cannot be scheduled before the event start time per day. You can schedule your meeting from 8. From 8 is okay, we can skip this part. It's 10 is missing. So from 8 8 a.m. we can schedule our meeting. This is in accordance with our events, just like we saw that it should event start time is 8 and event end time per day is 18th. So similarly, we can test for event end time also, but I don't want to, let's say, give that much thing, like it's like it will take too much time. I'll just skip it for now. In the later part of the videos we can include it. So we can we have tested out condition 1, we have tested out condition 2, we have tested out condition 3, we tested out condition 4, we tested out condition 5. Now we'll see condition 6, 7 and 8. Let's try to see how it goes. So account owner, let's try it 7 once and then we'll come back to that. So account owners can decide okay, so this is like before, how much before should we schedule? So we'll test it out for let's say 2 hours. In our database we can see schedule meeting after 2 hours. So let's go to our postman and we'll give values. Let's see, it's 1:22 p.m. So we'll give okay, it's fine, 14:20. Let's not give 14:20. Okay, yeah, it's fine because we have given 2 hours. So I think we'll get the result as you have to schedule meeting at least 2 hours after. So we have 2 hours. Let's say if I change it to 3 hours. And if I click on it right now, we can see you have to schedule meeting after 3 hours. So let's just try to add 3 hours, maybe 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's try for 17:20 and 17:25. So we can see that the meeting name has been added, course-a-thon discussion, the meeting start time, meeting end time, the meeting organizer, meeting platform. By default it's Microsoft Teams. I have not added, we can change it over here. We can see it's Microsoft Teams over here and all those things. Now we'll check into our database. So first we'll check the meetings column. We can see we have a new element, my course-a-thon discussion, and all those values, meeting organizer we can get. And if we go to our events, we can see that one elements has been added over here. And if we go to this element, we'll see that this element and the meetings ID, object ID is same. Let's say it is C778 CFB. If I go to meetings, we can see the last is C778 CFB. So meeting has been added. Now the last criteria, let's restrict a specific user to schedule a meeting multiple times within a day or maybe on consecutive days. So I have this meeting scheduled as it is. Let's just try to send it again. So when we try to send it again, we get the error message saying you are restricted to schedule only one meeting per day. So this is the overall creation of event, creation of meeting, scheduling a meeting. So as we can see, everything is working fine. Sign in, sign up. We have the create event, get user, get event, create meeting. Yeah, thanks.